Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the Farmington Public Schools District Spotlight for February. I am very, very excited to have a wonderful group of middle school students, as well as our incredible teacher, Mr. Vondrasek at middle school, and our wonderful CTE and K-12 Career Readiness and Innovation Coordinator, Ms. Nyasha Boyd. We are here to talk about career technical education, about career exploration that starts really at the elementary level, but really in earnest at the middle school, and then culminating with a wonderful visit that we had with a county-based STEMI truck. And so let me start with Ms. Boyd, if you can share with us, what was the process that led to eventually this STEMI truck coming to Warner Middle School? We know it relates back to what's called the EDP, which is the student's educational development plan that they start in middle school. But can you just lead us up to, this culminating event? And then I know some students will be able to talk about their EDP experience. So we can start with you, Ms. Boyd.
All right, well, thank you again for this opportunity. And I'm grateful that the students will have an opportunity to give us some great interaction and feedback. The educational development plans are now a K-12 requirement by our state. And so whereas educational development plans in the past have been focused mainly on the middle and the high schools, we're now a K-12 model for this. And so as we're rolling out EDPs, we were intentional to try to make sure that students have an understanding of things like their personalities, their learning styles, and trying to use our resource that's called Zello. It's replacing I think it was career cruising in the past.
Sure.
It's really given us a great base to understand who our students are, what are some of their unique skills and talents, and also how that over time from K to 5, 6 to 8, and then 9 to 12 really comes together as a nice culminating piece of information that our students can use as they pursue careers, college, OSTC, CTE, IB, AP, any of those things. Is kind of helping them navigate this idea of their educational process. And so we ended up doing Warner's EDPs first. And it was a wonderful opportunity. We went through the social studies teachers. So I was able to give some PD to social studies teachers and how we can lift up career readiness in their classrooms. And then also I have a wonderful colleague, Brandy Peart, who led the students through actually launching their EDPs over a course of 3 days at Warner Middle School. After that, we were wanting to then give them that next step, which is to see careers in action. And so we had an opportunity to partner with Oakland Schools and the Oakland Schools Foundation to provide the truck for the students. It will tour all of Oakland County over the school year. Each school district gets 1 week of use of the truck. And so it was a great connection to tie into career readiness and their EDPs to give Warner this opportunity. It is an 81-foot truck, so it can't fit in every campus. So
Right.
Again, Warner has a wonderful space for that. And then I was able to partner with our science teachers here. And Mr. Vondrasek is a wonderful lead in that group to come together with a strategy and structure to see as many students as possible. And I'm grateful to say we saw over 550 students in that week's time. They all had a wonderful experience on the truck. And it connects again to not only careers for them in the future, but also how they will live their life in the technology world going forward. So they were able to see a lot of things that could be their future roles and careers, and also the ways in which our technology will grow, and they will live with these things like autonomous vehicles and things as in the future as consumers as well. And so I'll stop there. I'd love to hear from the students if they could tell me what was their learning personality styles. What did they find out by doing their EDPs? And so if we could start maybe with, let's see, Chloe, can we start with you? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, my learning style was visual, which makes 100% sense since I do love to read, and it does talk about how it's good for you to learn by reading.
Okay. Can you tell me a little bit about your personality style? Did you find yourself to be a persuader or a creator, a builder, a helper? What did you find?
My personality style was I'm a helper, creator, and persuader, which I showed my mom this, and she said it was 100% true.
Okay, great. Do you remember what career or what two careers maybe popped up for you specifically?
One of them was an artist, and another one of them was a casting director.
A casting director?
Yes.
Wonderful. Okay, if we could go to one of our 7th and 8th graders. How about you, Addison? I see your face there. Could you tell us a little bit about the EDP for you?
My learning style was like tactical, which basically means like hands-on learning. And I mean it's true because like I'm not really like I like to interact and do more interactive type.
Okay. Can you tell me which careers were lifted up for you in your profile?
Mine was like a dancer and then interior decorator.
Nice. Do either of those seem to suit you based on what you thought about yourself?
Yes, because I like have done dance for like at least 5 or 6 years now. And I mean, yeah, I'm like a creative person.
All right, fantastic. I'm going to jump to Owen. Owen, can you tell us a little bit about your EDP experience?
Yep, there we go. We're all clear. So my learning style or whatnot was basically hands-on tactile, because I can definitely confirm that, because I definitely do it better when I experience it and go through it than just being told do this, do that, and you'll be all fine. I don't function like that.
Okay, all right. Can you tell me a little bit about your personality style?
Personality style, I believe it said I'm a creator and I'm a builder.
Yes.
And it gave me 2 certain jobs that I guess I would choose, even though they're not what I expected. It gave me pipe layer and carpenter.
All right. Thanks for sharing that. Let's see. I'll move over to, how about Tristan? Are you there, Tristan?
Yeah.
My name's Trey, and my learning style was visual learner because I also like to read and do things with my eyes. I like seeing colors and stuff like that. And my personality style was persuader and thinker because I like to think a lot. And most of the time when I'm just by myself, I like to think, and I just think about everything that's going on. And the 2 jobs that popped up were a lawyer and politician.
Oh, okay. And is that something that surprised you, or?
Yeah, I was surprised I got lawyer.
Okay. Okay. Well, very good. Thank you for sharing that. And let's hear from maybe one more 6th grader.
You want to hear from Tristan? Tristan is ready to speak. If you like
Okay,
to
great. Tristan, let's hear from you.
So for mine, it popped up tactile learner because like I like to do experiments and hands-on things, and some creator things. I got creator and helper and builder. And some jobs that popped up for me were a surgeon and professional athlete.
Okay, can you move over the screen so we can see your great face there?
There you go, Tristan.
Yes. Just wave your hand so we know it was you that was talking there. Okay. So tell us those 3 things again, your job
They
possibilities.
were surgeon, professional athlete, and fitness coach.
Okay. And which one do you think more fits who you are today?
A surgeon or professional athlete.
A surgeon or professional athlete. All right, fantastic. So as you can see, Dr. Delgado, this EDP process really opens up the opportunity for students to learn a little bit about themselves. I wanted to ask and see if anyone could tell me by raising their hand, did anyone share this with their parents or family or friends? Okay, great. Does anyone have something they'd like to share when they did share with their parent? What was the response, or with a friend, what did they say to you? Maz, did you want to share what you told me earlier, or?
I didn't say anything.
Oh, you didn't say anything? I thought you mentioned something about Ford and working with your dad. Okay, what about you? Yes.
Damon, go ahead.
Damon, go ahead.
One of the careers I got was a martial arts instructor, and when I had told my mom about that, she started laughing because I've never done any sort of martial arts in my life.
Is there something that you may consider doing, or not really?
I got a professional athlete, and I've been playing sports my whole life.
Okay. We'll see how you progress. Again, these are suggestions. It just opens our students' minds up to possibilities. And under that, several other careers fall under professional athletes. So thank you all for sharing. Is there anyone who didn't speak that really wanted to share something about their ADP? Okay, go ahead.
David?
That's
loud, buddy.
My learning style was tactile, and my personality was creative, older, and helper. And the jobs I got was aerospace engineer and chemical engineer. And I forgot the last one.
It's good careers.
That's great careers, David.
Were you able to catch those?
Yes, I did.
Good.
Is there anyone else who wanted to speak that did not yet about their EDPs? Okay, great. Thank you so much, you all.
Well, fantastic. And so I really appreciate you sharing that experience. As a former middle school teacher myself and a middle school principal, I'm very familiar with the old career cruising and the shift to Zello. And so I have a question for Mr. Vondrasek, since you've been working with these young people. When you look at the middle school age, from 10 to 13 years old, is that the right time for career exploration? And what's been your experience working with, these young people and working through Zello and career cruising? What are some reflections on working with this age group on career exploration and thinking about their futures?
I like to try to compare it a lot to when I was in school. And very clearly, I remember going through middle school, not having any type of experience with any of this. We just kind of went through middle school with the goal of getting good grades in social studies, science, math, and language arts, and as a general whole, with really nothing to go beyond that. And now watching these kids go through these and really do these plans to come out with an idea of something that might spark an interest that they might say, I've never heard of that before. I would like to learn more about that. And then to be able to go into the STEMI truck. And I prefaced so many kids going into this. I said, what you're about to experience may change your future paths as an 11, 12, or 13-year-old kid. And that to me is beyond cool and exciting to know that there's something that they are experiencing. We're transitioning from lunch right now, so I apologize if it gets a little hard to hear me.
No problem.
But just to have an idea of now being able to go into that STEMI truck, then come back into our science classrooms and say, there's a definite connection to what we're doing during our daily lessons that goes well beyond just doing good on a test that they might take in a couple of weeks. Like, this is something that I may pursue. And I said that to the kids going into this. I said, this is going to change your path for many of you. And then when I finally got the chance to debrief with a couple of them, it was very much like some of them were like, I want to know more about that, and I want to learn more about this. And there's way more beyond just, your lessons that we're doing. There's so many connections as well.
That's fantastic. And for the students, the adults on this screen, some of us are still figuring out what we want to be when we grow up. So don't feel the pressure to have to make your whole life's plan. But middle school really is the perfect time for you to have these experiences, these kind of exploratory options that maybe it would pique your interest and you might see yourself in a future endeavor. And really it helps you think about the classes that you might take in middle school and up into high school if you want to pursue some of these interests. So let's talk about the STEMI truck that came over to Warner and you had this wonderful experience. And, I've got a couple of questions. And so let me start with Grace, if you will. I know, and I had the wonderful experience of being able to come over and get in the truck with you and experience this myself personally. So I just loved it. But Grace, can you talk about the 4 clusters inside the truck? What were the 4 clusters that you were able to explore as a student?
Yeah, so the STEMI truck was really cool. We all got into groups and could switch between the 4. I started with autonomous vehicles, and it was extremely cool to try to figure out what vehicle you were controlling and how to stop the vehicle. We also did mixed virtual reality, where we got to make our own VR experience, a virtual reality experience, and kind of draw and see, extend beyond just here. It was really neat. We also got to go into a Z space design, where we could make things out of clay, and we had glasses that connected to a clicker that we could draw things on and move things around. We could make animals. It was really cool. And the last one was a collaborative robot, where we got to program robots to be able to pick up shapes and place them on objects and see how coding worked. It was really fun.
That last one with the robots was very challenging. You had to kind of balance those pieces on through the coding on actual small foundations, and so it was quite an issue of trial and error. That's wonderful. Zoe, let's shift to you if you can. When you look at the truck and the experience, why was the truck valuable to you personally, or did you find it valuable to you personally?
I didn't find the truck as valuable as I thought I would, but I did like the parts around it. I did like how it was structured. I liked how, because my mom was working on there, I got to go in early or extra times. That was fun. I liked the virtual reality. I like to be able to see things that aren't there. I also think it was really cool because they were giving the students a chance to try something that wasn't even out, or that prototype wasn't even out on the market yet.
Sure. Could you see how that might, introducing that into the classrooms might add some value to your classroom, science classroom or social studies or math classroom, and try to enrich that?
Totally.
Wonderful.
I see that as a foundation of replacing notebooks. Digital. The world is going digital.
Indeed. Let's shift over to Maz, and if you can scooch in, we want to see you. I have a question for you. Were you surprised by any particular station after engaging with it? Or if you weren't surprised, what was maybe your favorite station of the 4?
So the autonomous vehicles one was really cool. It was like how the car was able to sense the lines and was able to change was like really a statement of technology.
Fantastic. Let's have the same question for Owen, who's right next to you. Owen, what did you think about it in terms of, did you have a particular station that you really enjoyed?
Yeah, I thought it was
by a station?
It was definitely a unique experience to step onto the truck, walking out to the parking lot and seeing the 80-foot long truck just sitting there. I'm like, man, I wonder what I would see inside of that thing, because I'm being honest, I didn't watch the videos at all. Anyways, I had one particular station I liked in particular, and that was collaborative robots, because I found it really cool about how we could collaborate with a robot to basically accomplish a task easier than if we had just done it by ourselves, or the robot done it by itself.
Okay, wonderful. I'm just going to hop around here. How about Trey? What was your favorite experience and why?
My favorite experience was the mixed reality, because there was this thing where where it's like you could see the virtual reality, but you could also see the real world. And I think that was my favorite, because you could do all these things like modeling, like the heart that we could see and dissect it and see the different parts. So if someone's like have a heart surgery or do something for a surgery, they can like test what they're going to do first before they actually do it, and potentially save multiple lives.
That was fascinating, and it was really clear that this was much more than just kind of a virtual reality like you see in video games, and that there was an application for you to really see a practical application for that. So that was wonderful as well. Chloe, how about you? What was your favorite experience and why? Is Chloe?
Yeah, you can move the camera. Go ahead. Move the camera over a little bit.
She's on mute.
Yes.
Okay.
No. I got to go. We're talking right here. Go ahead, nice and loud, honey.
My favorite space was the Z space design. I think that was super fun. That you can create your own character or make whatever you want in that little space. Because when I was doing it, I made a cat dog, which I really loved, and I showed my friend. She also really loved it.
Okay.
And it can also help with like video game design or creating characters for books or stuff like that.
Wonderful. Wonderful. I think I know the answer to this, but Mr. Von Drossig, what was your favorite experience and why? I think you and I had the same favorite experience.
I think you and I went off track just a little bit. We jumped into something that I didn't see them doing a whole lot with the kids. I really enjoyed the virtual reality goggles. I mean, I have a Quest at home myself that I play with my kids, but these were virtual reality goggles to a new level where you could see, basically it put whatever you were working on in front of you within the confines of the room that you were currently in. So that was incredible. I mean, to be able to manipulate and move things around that were literally in front of you with people in front of you. Like we could design and draw hats and then put them on people.
Right.
Like that were standing right beside us in front of us. And then of course you and I operating the makeshift cranes that we failed miserably at was also.
You do not want us on your construction.
No, we are not good construction workers at all.
Things would get damaged and dirt would not get moved.
No.
But it was humbling.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, that kind of segues into another question. So let's go to Grace. So Grace, when you looked at these, did the experience cause you to think differently about technology and maybe how life might be different in the future? I know that's a big question, but maybe you can try to tackle it and your friends can help you.
Yeah, definitely. I think the virtual reality goggles were really it. I think I could definitely see them in the future where instead of going to maybe on a field trip, you can put the virtual reality goggles on and you can walk through almost any place you want.
Mm-hmm.
I see that possibly being a big part in the future.
Awesome. Damon, how about you? How, after this experience of the STEMI truck, do you think it caused you to think differently about technology or how it might transform our lives in the future?
Yeah, I think, like you said about the mixed reality, I think it was teaching us valuable assets that we wouldn't think to learn or care to learn. But it was teaching us things that we could really use, even if that's not the profession we want to go into or something we would even think about. It was really teaching us how we can use that in the different ways it can be used.
Wonderful. And the next question, the answer could be no, but I'm just curious. So let's go to Addison. Do you think that after these experiences, not only doing your EDP, thinking about your inventory, thinking about your personality traits, and then going through the STEMI truck, do you think that this might change your career path? I know that's a big question for a middle schooler, but Addison, what do you think about that?
Sometimes I think like it could be a yes because I'm like a person that likes to create new things. I like to try new things, test things out. I'm like a really determined person, so I feel like it would be a good job or a good fit for me. But I really don't know.
That's okay. That's okay. It's just a question. Same question for you, David. Do you think that after going through your educational development plan and looking at career exploration and experiencing this STEMI truck, it might change your future career plans? Was there anything that piqued your interest?
Yes, because I would have never known about all these things that you could do if I didn't do that.
Wonderful. And Tristan, same question to you.
Yes, and sort of no, because I always wanted to be a surgeon in the future, and I got that, but I never thought a professional athlete would be suited, because I play sports, but I didn't.
Well, and the wonderful thing is that, these experiences that you have in middle school can lead you to just more interest, and you can have multiple interests. A well-rounded human being has multiple interests, and maybe things turn into a career. Maybe they turn into a hobby. Maybe it's just something that you want to explore and educate yourself. So I think I got around the room. So let me come back to Ms. Boyd and give you the final word. I'm just so impressed with these young people with our wonderful teachers, with you and your leadership in our innovation and career readiness efforts. But, what are your final reflections on this experience, not only with the STEMI truck, but our whole career development EDP process in the district?
Wow, that's a great question. Well, first of all, I am just super excited for the potential of what we're learning from our students. I'm excited that we give them opportunities like this to really tell us who they are and let them really express their interests. I would love to see this be a way that we can better shape some of our electives and curriculums at the middle school and the high school level. I would love to see ways where we can look at not only say a student's academic record, but look at their Zello profiles to group them into groups, or maybe learn a little bit more about our cultures in our classrooms. I'd love to see a little bit more teaming within like the core content areas, so we can pull our ELA teachers with our science teachers and figure out ways that we can use what we're learning about our students in profound ways. I'd love to be able to use some of the experiences they had and get some of that to live in our district and not just be on these wonderful trucks. But I think that there's a possibility for, with direct and intentional leadership, opportunities for this to go across the board. And we can really see students say, yes, this is why I come to school every day. I have a vision, I have a plan for my life, even though it may not be specifically known yet as they're learning and maturing, but at least they can say, I have a purpose, or I really can look forward to school because these things are being offered and people are listening to me and they're understanding how I learn and how I think. I also wanted to say that the STEMI is a partnership with Oakland schools. So over the next 5 years, we'll have an opportunity for this truck to be on our campuses here in Farmington Public Schools. And so the intent is to really focus on our sixth graders with the goal that over the next 3 years, over maybe 1,200 students at the middle school level will have this experience. And we're just trying to create momentum as we're pushing them through into high school so that they are really going after their learning and their academics with this idea of, I see myself in this world and this is where I fit. And these are the things about me that make me uniquely special. And so for those families who might not have had this experience, we're coming to your school soon. So I don't want anyone to feel any angst about maybe not having this experience. Sure. There are also ways for what we learned in these clusters to live in classrooms. And so I can talk to science teachers or even math, English teachers who may want to see some of this technology used in their classrooms. We can find ways to do that that don't require the truck to come, but require some of the things that the truck provided to be in classrooms. So I can make that available to teachers or to collaborative IO groups if they want to do something collectively. So we are moving forward with career readiness. This was a wonderful way to kick it off. I'm very pleased with the students who were very gracious to share their experiences, and even students who are not on the screen who really loved and are coming up to me, calling me the truck lady. And when can we have this experience again? And we're looking forward to EDPs at our other middle schools coming out soon. And so next year we'll get to have this experience at another middle school and find ways to improve on what we did. But I really want to thank you for your leadership, Dr. Delgado, to Mr. Von Bostic, you and the science team for helping me to organize the schedule, which was logistically really crazy. And then in a COVID era where we could still have this powerful moment, better than a field trip, I heard students tell me, because I got to go on and do what I wanted to do within the confines of what you created for me. And I really appreciate that, Mrs. Boyd. That's what I heard students say. So I'm grateful for this time to share this with the larger Farmington public school community. And I'll go ahead and close with thank you so much for lifting up careers every day so that students have a sense of who they are and their purpose being lived out every day as they come to school. I think it's amazing.
Well, we really appreciate you. We are in wonderful hands with your leadership and with exciting and committed teachers like Mr. Vondrasek. I was remiss in not circling back and giving Zoe a second chance to comment. So Zoe, I will give you the last word on today's conversation. Take us away, Zoe.
For the virtual reality, I also think it could help with fitness. Being able to walk in the woods or places on Mars through the virtual reality, it can help people stay fit. Mm-hmm. help people have an experience to go somewhere.
I like to piggyback on that because in the season of needing some ways to improve our mental health as students and as staff, walking through the park in a virtual reality mode can do a lot to lower stress levels and serotonin levels. And then also for those students who haven't had a chance in the performing arts, we could create stages and monologues, and they could have an opportunity to be this wonderful character. So to Zoe's point, thank you for remembering that, because that is really, really powerful where our mind can take us if we allow it to with the use of our technology.
Wonderful. Well, thank you all so very, very much. We really appreciate you being the Farmington Public Schools February District Spotlight. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.